Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Omaha Places podcast. We're your hosts. My name is Connor, and I'm the founder of Omaha Places and 402 Social.
And my name's Delaney, and I'm the digital content coordinator for Omaha Places.
So, it has been a bit of a chaotic week over here. We have had a bit of scrambling. I am actually recording from London, England today, which was not in the plan, but I unexpectedly had to come over here kind of last minute. So, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you'll see that Delaney and I are actually in different studios today. But fortunately, I did find a podcast studio here in London, kind of close to my family's house. So, that's where I'm at this week.
Yeah, and since you've been gone, where did you go last week before you left? Did you get a chance to do anything fun?
I did, yeah. So I left on Sunday morning, I believe. So I kind of got like half of my weekend. I went to the awesome 80s prom. I think that was on Saturday night or on Friday night. I honestly can't remember. But that was actually really fun. I kind of had no expectations going into that, but that was at the waiting room. And basically, it's a really interactive, it's kind of a show, but also not a musical. I don't even know how to explain it.
Did they
It
have
like
characters there? Like
Yes,
from
so
different 80s shows?
not from different 80s shows. Basically, the whole thing was to mimic an 80s prom at a high school in the 80s. So they had like the head cheerleader, they had the jock, they had the nerd, they had like the biker guy who was like wearing leather jackets to the prom.
Mm.
So they had each of those characters there, and then the characters would walk among the audience and kind of talk and ask you to sign their yearbook, like actually acting as if they're at prom. And but then sometimes they would go up on stage and have scripted parts, like when they were announcing prom king and queen, stuff like that. So it's kind of a mix between scripted and unscripted, lots of audience participation. It literally was meant to mimic an actual prom. And it was really cool. It was really fun. All the actors were phenomenal. And I was at the waiting room, and that's actually still going on. So it goes until, let's see, I wrote it down, May 19th, and you can get tickets online or at the door. So that was a really fun activity that I'd recommend.
Did you end up getting dressed up too? What did you wear?
No, I my mom was because I brought my mom with me, and she was joking that she wished she still had some of her clothes from the 80s. But I think I wore just jeans and like a pink kind of frilly top, and then I had a scrunchie in my hair. So that
Yeah.
was the most dressed up I could get. But a lot of other people were super dressed up. So if you do like doing those kind of dress up things, those themed parties, this is a good one. You can break out some of those 80s clothes.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
all that fashion comes right back around.
I know, right? Well, yeah. Where did you go this week? Anywhere fun?
I stayed in Benson a little bit this week. So I checked out B-5 Brewing, and it's called that because it's a family owned and run business. And their last name is Bush, I think, and there are five of them. But it's
Wow.
all the employees are from that family, and they have the brewery like right in the back. And he's, I guess, worked at Infusion, the guy Aaron, who's the head brewmaster. I think that's what they call it. But that was super fun to check out. And a lot of people that I go talk to, like I kind of do my thing, but it was really fun because he like grabbed me a few brews and sat down next to me and just like told me his whole story.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so yeah, like it was really cool. And I feel like I got to know them on a way deeper level than I get to meet some business owners, which was super fun. But
So,
sorry, what
well,
were you gonna say?
well, I was just gonna ask, was that guy who sat with you, was he like one of the five
Yep. He was
people?
the dad of the family, and
Okay.
he's been brewing. He started brewing in, like, his backyard, and then he worked at Infusion, and then they were kind of telling me about how he has a different way of making brews, and he kinda started it at Infusion, and then I think Infusion ended up asking them if they wanted to buy it, and so he did, and they rebranded as
Oh, wow.
Five Brewing.
Okay. That's a cool story.
Yeah,
And
and
they just opened, didn't they?
yeah, like, I think maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
But they'll be at Benson Beer Fest, which is coming up, and I'll have to double check the date on that. I wanna say early June,
Okay.
but I made sure to ask if they were gonna be there because
Yeah.
it was really good. Like, I tried a few different ones, and my favorite was the Velvet Noir, and it's kinda like has a chocolatey taste. And I'm not a
Ooh.
big fan of beer, but I did like that one.
Okay. Do they have food there as well, or is it just the brews?
Just brews, and they have like just a few different spirits in case you're like wanting a cocktail. But it's very family friendly, so you can bring your kids in. They just won't. I think they have root beer on tap,
Okay.
but other than that, I don't think they have any food yet.
Wait, that's so cute to have root beer on tap for the kids.
Yeah. And I think that was their goal. They know that a lot of people are just going to be passing through,
Hmm.
and that they're not like a destination brewery yet. So they're just trying to catch like the walking traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, one of the things that we had on the list to talk about later on in this podcast is, I guess, more places to hang out if you're like not 21. But when I was kind of researching those places, I realized that a lot of breweries are family friendly, which I think is so cool because, yeah, why not be able to, bring the whole family?
And there was one in Iowa City that was big with bikers, and they had like food vendors set up there, and it's called Big Grove, I believe. And they're actually moving to Omaha soon. I want to say in
Oh,
2025.
okay.
So, yeah, I was kind of talking with him about that because I guess Aaron, the head brewmaster, worked for a company where they would like help set up breweries, like all of the equipment and stuff. So he knows a lot about the
Okay.
brewing industry in general. And it was
Yeah.
about that.
Love that. Well, what a win for Omaha. Another brewery. I love that.
Yes. Big brewery.
Okay, another place that I went, well, this was not a new place by any means, but I kind of sporadically went to Archetype at or their Little Bohemia location. And I just thought this was a good shout out. They have brunch on, I think it's only on the weekends. And every Archetype location has pastries like all the time, but they have like proper brunch. Like I had shashuka, which, if you guys don't know what shashuka is, I think it's Mediterranean. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but it's like a breakfast food. It has egg and tomatoes, and you kind of dip your bread in. And so, yeah, they have like a very legitimate brunch menu at this Archetype, which I just wanted to shout that out because that's not what Archetype is known for. But why not go when you can actually get like a proper meal too?
Right? What kind of other food do they have there? Because that sounds like something I need to check out. I've never even been to Archetype in general.
What?
I don't know how.
Do you get that reaction a lot when you tell
Yeah.
people that?
Yes. Someone was telling me about a dinner place downtown in a hotel, and I'm like, "Well, I've been to 2 of them. I was there, like, a week ago." I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about, though." Like, Diamond or something like that.
Diamond or Simon?
Diamond,
Diamond.
I wanna say.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
I'll have to double check, but we're gonna have to do a post about it because I feel like that
Yeah.
hotel must be left out.
Okay, if you guys are a Diamond restaurant or a hotel, shoot us a DM because we want to come check you out.
But maybe I
Uh,
just made up that name too. My friend was just telling me about it yesterday, so I have to go.
Everyone's gonna be like going on looking on Google Maps now, like this place does not exist.
Like, what are you talking
Maybe we'll make a note next week. We can confirm that what we found out about that place.
I'll reach back out to my friend and be like, "Tell me that restaurant name again."
Yeah, tell me more.
I was like, "I'm supposed to
um,
know all things."
no Archetype though. Are you a coffee drinker?
I've I'm more of a matcha girl, but I
Okay.
will drink iced coffee once in a while. I just
Okay.
stick with I have a membership at Hardy Coffee, so I
Mm,
tend to go there.
yeah.
But I do like to try different coffee shops once in a while.
Also Hardy being in Benson, I guess that makes
It is
sense.
my local place.
Yeah.
I like to see my
Um,
favorite baristas.
yeah, Archetype does have really good matcha, I think. I think it was Zen actually. Zen's matcha is what got me into matcha. I was a bit of a matcha hater until a couple years ago, and then I tried Zen's, and Zen makes it a little sweeter, and I like sweet drinks. So, yeah, but
I love
but Archetype is really good too. As far as okay, your original question, what other food does Archetype have? They always have a good amount of pastries. Like I get bagels from Archetype quite often. They have scones and, cookies. I think they have some gluten-free options as well. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they do. But only at their Little Bohemia location. I forget what chef comes in on the weekends. It's a well-known chef in Omaha. If you guys are a foodie in Omaha, you'll just have to look it up. But they have a ton of different like grain bowls. I think they might have avocado toast. So it's a pretty decent brunch menu. I don't think they have pancakes or anything like that. It's just
Pretty
like more
simple stuff.
bowls and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was delicious. I liked it.
Well, that's good to know. Now I'll have to go and check it out.
Yeah.
It's a crime not to.
All right. Anywhere else that you want to shout out that you went this week?
You know what? Yesterday, I actually went to the Ice Age Adventure at the Lee G. Simmons Wildlife Safari Park, and they
Ooh.
have yeah, this is their new exhibit, the Ice Age Adventure, and they have, I believe, 38, like, extinct animatronic animals there. And so, like, when you drive by, they're, like, moving like they normally would, and they're making noises. It was kind of cool to see, and then at each, like, animal, they have a little story about it and tells you more. So it would definitely be a good, like, family thing to drive through. Because if you haven't been to the safari park before, it is a drive-through park, and you can get out at certain places, but otherwise, you basically just stay in your car the whole time. I
Yeah.
think the last time I went there was during COVID when we couldn't, like, go
Yeah.
anywhere else.
I think that place got super popular during COVID. I know my family went. I wasn't living in Omaha at that time, but they said it was just lines like out the park, like around the block. Everybody wanted to go drive through.
And I don't think people knew about it too much before, or even
Mhm.
now, like, they don't know that it's affiliated with the zoo. So
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was just gonna say is if you guys need any other convincing, it is technically I don't know if it's a part of the zoo. I think the zoo runs it in some way. Basically, our contact for the zoo is also the same contact for the safari park. So everybody knows, obviously, that the Omaha Zoo is superior. So
but they have
the safari park,
bison, they have elk,
yeah,
normally, they have bald eagles, which I thought were cool, and you can actually get out and, like, go into a little netted area and get closer to those.
yeah. Don't they have like a cheetah or something too?
Not that I saw yesterday, it must not have been out, but
I remember seeing something, so the little area where that you can I think it's the first place that you can get out of your car, and they have some, like, food trucks in the little parking lot there, and there's a little area you can kind of walk on a path and go back and I don't know, I remember there being some sort of feline animal back there.
yeah,
I
that's
don't know
where
exactly which
bald
one.
eagles at.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, it was cool to see them, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I didn't know that." I wonder if they're just rehabilitating them there or if they keep them there full time. That's what I was
Yeah, I'm not
about.
sure.
But either way, it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And then, like, as you're going through the animatronics for the Ice Age exhibit, it's cool to see, like, how big these animals actually were because I think they're pretty close to the size that they would have been, and
Yeah.
also to kinda there was, like, a polar bear, like, type of animal, like a relative of a polar bear. And I was like, "It's a little warm for you today."
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, if any of you guys went to the dinosaur one, I forget the official name of that, but they had it was very similar to this Ice Age one, but with dinosaurs. So it's same concept where they have those like robotic Ice Age creatures. So yeah, good times.
Very, very cool, and it's $12 for adults to get in and $10 for children. I definitely would recommend, like, take kids there because I feel like they would really love it.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. All right, should we move on to
Any
pulling some
questions?
follower questions?
Yeah.
All right. The first one that I pulled was someone said, moving to the area soon, what are things to do that aren't food based? And I really liked this question because I feel like, at least when I had first started Omaha Places, that was a big thing. People kind of thought that we were just a foodie account and we do post a lot of restaurants and foodie stuff, but I never want it to be just Omaha food. That's why I specifically chose the name Places. So that's why I really liked this question was to highlight some of those other ones. So the first one I wrote down was Benson First Friday, and that was kind of top of mind because since I'd gone to the waiting room on Friday, I had to find parking and walk through Benson First Friday in order to get to the waiting room. So, and I hadn't been there or I hadn't been to First Friday in at least a year, year and a half, maybe even more than that. So, but that's a fun one. It happens in Benson every first Friday of the month. Obviously, they just have a ton of art exhibits and vendors and music. And I know Swap Omaha is always there if you want to do some clothing exchanges. So it's a just outdoors. They kind of block off part of the street. It's a great time to just walk around. Obviously, all ages are invited to that. So that's the first one that came to mind for me. And then I also wrote down some museums in Omaha that I feel like are kind of slept on a little bit. Obviously, during the summer, people want to be outside and stuff, but either in the winter or just on a rainy day when you kind of need to change of pace, I feel like we actually have really good museums here. So Kaneko is one that I really love, the Bemis Center. And the Bemis Center also does this really cool thing called Live at Low End. So I don't know if it's once a month or they might do it
It's
multiple.
it's a few different times. I wanna say at
Okay.
least every other, but it kinda
Okay.
switches around a little bit.
Yeah, they're really good about posting live at low end dates on their Instagram. So you can go follow the Bemis Center Instagram. But basically, they have this basement, like underground music venue, and it's so cool. They put up these really cool neon lights, and they always have a super indie artist, not even a musical artist. Some of them are more like maybe spoken word or stuff like that. It's no one that you're gonna see on like selling tickets on Ticketmaster or anything like that. But it's a really cool experience, and that venue down there is really cool. And all of the live at low end shows are free, which we love.
And they're always on Thursdays, and I think that's why I end up missing them, but I really wanna go check that out because you keep talking about it.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, the Bemis Center, the Joslin, when it reopens, it's currently still closed, but it is going to be reopening this year. So that is very exciting. And there's going to be a whole new wing of the Joslin that we get to explore. And then also the Durham Museum, which honestly, I don't even know if I have been to the Durham Museum, but I should get on
Um,
that.
I feel like I must have gone when I was little, but they always have some fun kid-friendly events there too.
Yeah. And they always have really cool special exhibits that come through too. So that's a good one to check out.
Definitely. And I think you had on here riverfront parks. I
Yes.
love riverfront.
Yeah, they just did such a good job with that whole area, all 3 of those parks. Lots of stuff to do.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, and they're all, like, affordable and accessible, and it's just, like, fun to see all the people out.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think the only thing that costs money is if you want to rent roller skates or ice skates, and that's $5, I think. So,
But
very
otherwise, if you bring your own, it's a free activity to do.
yeah, yeah. I also wrote down joining a rec league. So I know people who are in pickleball, bowling, volleyball. We just actually did a video about the soccer leagues or is it just soccer or are they doing more than soccer? I can't
And
even
kickball,
remember. Oh, okay.
but
At,
they can host, like, a lot of different sports.
yeah, that's at the CHI Multisport
Center.
Complex in La Vista. Yeah. So lots of places to join sports rec leagues. And then the last one that I wrote down was creative culture. We also did a video about that, I think last summer or in the fall. So you filmed that, didn't you, Delaney?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So they have just a ton of different art projects you can do, painting or pottery, lots of different stuff, and these really good milkshakes
They're
that you
very
can.
extravagant. Like, I
Yeah.
got the s'mores one, and they're just huge, and it's just, like, topped with marshmallows and Hershey's bars and graham crackers. It was delicious.
Yeah. They
I'm
look
like, "Wow,
good.
this is a masterpiece in itself, what you're doing here."
Yeah, art on the milkshakes. That in itself is an art project.
But also, like, other stuff to do, like the zoo, it's you can't even sleep on that because it's just
Mhm,
so wonderful. And Lorton Gardens, we just did a post about that, and it's so peaceful out there. Like, if you
yeah,
need, like, a little midday getaway from work or something, what a perfect thing to do.
mhm,
Um, and they had all their flowers blooming at the time, so I'm sure they have even more flowers now throughout their gardens. And then I've been trying to highlight more sports activities on the what's happening this weekend lately, but Union Soccer has games, the Omaha Storm Chasers are doing their games right now, the Supernovas are fun to go see, and then we'll have the College World Series coming up before we know it.
yeah, so lots of stuff to do. I feel like, Omaha has obviously, we're not known for our outdoorsy stuff, but I think that there are more outdoorsy things to do that people just don't really know about. So, like Lorton Gardens, some of the state parks that are around, that kind of stuff. So, love that you shouted those out.
Yeah, of course. I chose for my question, what are good places to have fun at night if you're under 21? Kind of what we talked about earlier. And I
Mhm.
pulled Bushwhackers first because I'm a country girl. And if you like to go line dancing too, they have college nights on Thursdays that you can attend, and they'll actually like help you learn how to do some of the dances if you already
Ooh.
don't. So that's kind of a fun group activity to do. Also, a lot of the comedy clubs are 18 plus.
Mhm.
Backline, I know for sure, and that is always a fun thing. And I think on certain days, they have open mics, so if you have, like, friends that are super hilarious, it would be fun to have them, like, go up on stage and do a little skit of some sort.
Just put them on the spot, throw them up there.
I'd be like, "I heard you're funny. Get up there." I have some friends like that, and they'll practice, like, at work, running through their little skits that they would do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're
I
like,
love that.
"Skit change," and then they'll be like, "New topic, now come up with a joke about this."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you need to go throw
I
them
need
up
to
there.
I need to push 'em up there. Also, the Slowdown and the CHI Health Center, they always have, like, really good concerts, and fun things to do, so definitely check those out. And then
Yeah.
Interrail and Sunny's, if you just want, like, a chill spot to, like, meet up with some people, those are nice places. I
Mhm.
and we spend a lot of time there, I feel.
Yeah, we do.
And then I had to shout out Blue Sky Patio and Pickleball. They have mini bowling, they have pickleball courts, um, and that's a fun place to hang out. They've got pizza and cheeseburgers. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. I don't even think we've officially, like, said on the podcast, but Delaney bartends part-time at Blue Sky. So, if you've heard us talking about either Blue Sky or her other job, we've mentioned that a couple times, that's what we're referring to.
This is what I'm talking about, so come say hi.
Maybe people will start recognizing your voice, if they go into Blue Sky
Oh
now.
gosh, I didn't even think about that
Your
because
voice is gonna get recognized too.
it's always yours. Like, maybe
People already
I'll tell you, I
recognize my
don't
voice.
know. Yeah.
No, they'll start giving you, like, you'll talk to them and then they'll kind of look at you because 'cause they'll have a bit of recognition, but they're not gonna recognize your face, and they'll just be kind of confused, and you'll be able to see the confusion on their face
It sounds like that's happened to you a few times or 2.
once or twice. It is actually wild, like, how much people will recognize voices. I've actually had even some comments in, like, videos a long time ago. People will be like, "Wait, is this Connor from such and such?" Like, they'll mention, like, the elementary school that I went to, and I'm like, "I literally haven't seen you since elementary or middle school, like, how do you remember my voice?"
Well, that's a wild.
Right? So, I don't know how that's happening.
A good conversation starter, though.
Yeah. Okay, I wrote down some other 19 and over places too, and I think actually all the places that I wrote down are 18 and over. Did this person specifically ask about 19 and over, not 18?
They did say 19 plus, but I think it's all
Okay.
kinda, like, looped in there, just like night fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we mentioned the riverfront in the last question too, having bonfires there, which I have yet to do. I would really like to go out and do that. But if you guys don't know, they have little like bonfire pits at the riverfront that you just have to find an open one. I don't think there's a reservation system for those. Just kind of walk around and find one. And then they have chairs and stuff like around the bonfire. So it's really nice, fun way to hang out downtown. And then obviously they have the skating, either roller skating or ice skating, depending on the season. Site one brewing is all ages. Kind of, we mentioned some breweries earlier. Nightlight at the Luminarium is also 18 and over, and that happens every Thursday.
And
And that's year round.
and I will say, it's a science museum, and you might think it's nerdy to go, but I went to Nightlight, and it was so much fun, especially, like, the adult-only time. You get to see, like, adults play with things like kids and interact with each other, and it's just, like, an overall really wholesome experience
Yeah,
'cause there's
I
activities to do there.
I had a similar experience this last summer where I got to see adults in a typical kid environment, but there were no kids around. And most people I think would underestimate how enjoyable it is to see adults in that kind of environment. Basically, I was at a public pool. If anybody's done RAGBRAI before in Nebraska, I did or I guess it's in Iowa, but I did RAGBRAI last year, and there happened to be a pool in one of these towns, and it was really hot. Everyone was super excited to go into the pool, and you had a line like around the whole pool to go off the diving board and go down the water slide. And there were these like 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men so excited to go down the water slide, and they were doing flips off the diving board. And so it's a fun time when you put an adult in a kid's environment without the kids around.
No, I saw these 2 guys, they were probably in their 40s, and they were building, like they were putting blocks together to build this arch, because that was just the activity, and then they would, like, run through it, and their wives were, like, taking videos. I was like, "This is adorable." And then they had, like, a little thing where you could build dams with sand and water, and
Oh, yeah.
all the guys were, like, trying to be engineers over there.
Yeah, I know exactly what sand thing you're talking about. It's like right by the window.
Right.
That thing is fun.
Now, all the activities there, like, don't underestimate them. They are a good time, and I could even say, like, if you met a new friend, take them there. If you're on a first date, that would be a fun, like, interactive thing to do to get to know someone, like,
Yeah, that would be a
safe.
very good first date spot. 'Cause it's like you have an activity to focus on.
And you get to learn about each other as you're doing
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah,
that's
great
my
idea.
recommendation.
Yeah, I love that. All right, shall we move on to events happening this weekend?
Yeah, let's let them know.
All right. I have Nebraska Salsa Scene. If you guys have not ever been to one of their events, they're so much fun. They're doing one on May 18th at 7 p.m. at the riverfront. And that is a free event. I think they do put on some paid events every once in a while, but they do pop up at the riverfront quite a bit. They also pop up at Sunny's quite a bit, and you literally just go and learn how to salsa. It's super informal. Like you can kind of pop in and do as much as you want and then just leave if you are, I don't know, if you're over it. So it's not like a class you have to register for or anything. So that's a really fun one. Also, Press Fest at Joslyn Castle is May 19th, 2 to 5 p.m. This is another free event, and I will be there this year, I think. I need to figure out when I'm coming home from London first, but I might be there. Still TBD. Somebody from the Omaha Places team will be there. And I went to this last year though, and it was really fun because it's not every day that you just get to go walk around the outside of Joslyn Castle or especially the inside, but at Press Fest you can go on the inside. You can go into all the different rooms, which was really cool. They also do bus tours of the neighborhood, which I didn't do at last year's event, but I think I'm going to try and do it this year because I just love history and like learning more about Omaha in that way. So that's going to be really fun. And then they have food trucks and live music and stuff like that, vendors that come out and set up tables. So that's a really fun one and also free.
Yeah, and that sounds cool because I've never been there, but I know a lot of people have their weddings there, and it
Yeah.
looks pretty in the pictures for sure. And do they have, like, gardens in the back as well?
Yeah, they do. It's just like they have a lot of ground around the Joslyn. I don't think it's like specific gardens. They just have like really nice landscaping, but the whole property is just beautiful and it's just as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. And they have all these old elements of old houses, like the thing, I don't even know what it's called, but where you like put your food in and then like a levee system, you can like
Ooh.
bring your food like up to just things like that that are not made in houses anymore this year or
Uh,
in these times.
called, like, a butler, like a
Like a
but
yeah,
yeah, I can't remember what it
butler thing.
is.
I think that's like what it was originally for is 'cause whoever used to live in that house would have probably had servants, and so, like, the servants kind of have their quarters, and then there's just, like, little systems to get stuff to the rest of the house. So it's really cool.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
It's starting speaking of, like, wedding venues, Regency is having a bridal fair that they're putting on at the Regency Shopping Center, and as, like it comes into wedding season, this would be the perfect opportunity if you have one coming up to like plan getting your dress, get your vendors ready, flowers, hair, makeup, people, get it all like situated. And the first 200 people get a Borsheim's bag with a bunch of coupons to the Regency stores as well as the
Oh,
bridal vendors. So
cool.
that'll be happening May 19th from 1 to 4. So get there, like, be the first ones. And then there's an art battle on May 18th. And if you don't know what that is, it's a bunch of artists, I think 16 artists face off, and they'll have like really short rounds. So they have to make an art piece super fast. And then the audience votes which ones they like the best. And they'll do that 3 times until there's a winner at the end. And then at the end, all of the art projects will be up for sale or auction.
Oh, cool.
So I think it's the finals. And so this should be like a really good group of artists there.
Cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to either go to that or just any other event at Culture House. I feel like they have such unique events. I've just never made it up there.
They really do. I should just put it on like the list of things to do so we can like go and cover it. I
Yeah.
feel like if we don't put it on the schedule, then it just gets really busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I've created a drafted post for that.
Sounds like a plan. I also made one for Benson First Friday so we can cover them too. So
I did see that. I think I saw you sent me a calendar invite for that. And I was like, what? Okay.
I'll put it in my calendar. I'll forget.
Yeah. I know I should have put these in here, but there were a couple of new businesses that I already wrote on the list to talk about next week. So I was like, we should reach out to them. Delaney needs to go to these.
Delaney needs to go. I'll go.
Yeah.
Send me wherever.
Also to people listening, if you guys are DMing us or like commenting places to go, just know that we do read those and make an effort to actually go to those places. So we love when you guys give us suggestions on places that you should check out or that we should check out. Well, you should check them out too, but that you want us to do a video on.
Yeah, and this is our first time doing a podcast, so if you have suggestions, things we should do differently, like let us know those too.
Yes.
But like be nice.
Yes, I totally agree with that. We kind of have an idea of how we want to run this podcast and kind of a format that we want to do, but at the end of the day, this podcast is for our listeners, for our viewers. So if there's anything that you guys want us to do, I did see some comments on our announcement post of people saying that they wanted us to bring on guests and like hear little blips from business owners, which was not originally in the plan, but knowing that people want to hear that stuff definitely puts it in our minds, and we'll definitely figure out how we can do some of that. So yeah, let us know, shoot us an email or a DM with any suggestions, and we love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, well, I think that's a wrap on our second podcast.
Wrap on the second podcast. Hopefully, well, next week, actually, Delaney won't even be here. So it'll be maybe just me next week. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm back from London next week. Hopefully.
Either way, it'll be great. And I can't wait to listen while I'm away.
Yeah, you'll get to be a viewer or a listener just like everybody else.
How weird.
All right. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Yeah.